Okay, welcome back to my channel. This is part 3 of yet another inventory series, but wait. Just like to apologise for not being able to get as far into the progression as I intended to last time, as I first said in the intro. So I think in future I will just see how far we get. I like to keep it for about 30 minutes, but like I said, if you want longer videos, don't hesitate to comment below and I'll see what I can do for you. So last time we left off with our game item parent and setting the mesh in our construction script. So let's go ahead and continue with the next part. Let's bring up my reference project. If I go quiet and appear a bit vague, I'm just checking my reference project. There's a lot to try to remember off the top of my head, and I'd rather look at my reference project than guess and get it wrong and have to pause the video and all silly things like that. So we got, let's just recap. We got ahead, we made our game item. We made all our enums and structures. We made our game item parent and the game base actor. The reason we're doing it this way is because with the game base actor, we could have a door or a light switch. So we would make a child of that. And this one is a game item, so these are things that we're going to be using, and they won't have necessarily the same data or uses inside them. So let's go ahead and make a game item. So first things first, we're going to go to our game item parent, we're going to create a child, and we're going to call this one BP underscore BP underscore let's make this one a donut. What I'm going to do then is I'm going to go into our blueprints folder, create a new folder. I'm just going to call this game items. It's not strictly necessary to make a child of the blueprint for each item. There are ways that we can just use the class, base class, and then add the item data into it and spawn it in this way. But it's just a different way of showing you how to do things. So what we're going to do then is we're going to go back to our parents blueprint because we don't want the donut in there. So we're just going to drag it into our game items. We're going to move it here. In our game items folder, we've got donut. And let's make another one while we're at it. So we're just going to duplicate it. We're going to call this BP can of drink, or can of soda for our friends across the pond. Again, we're going to duplicate it again, and we're going to call this one first aid kit. Okay, now at the moment there's nothing we can do with them, so let's just make sure we save everything. We can go ahead and close our parent actor here and our game base actor here. And now we need to have some information to put in them. So we're going to go back to our game folder, to our data folder, our data assets. And we're going to right click and we're going to go to miscellaneous. We're going to look for data asset. And it brings up here for us to choose what type of data asset we want to make it. Basically, we're making a child of this DA game item. So we're going to choose DA game item. Select that. And you see it's red as opposed to blue. We're going to call it DA underscore donut. And you get it, we're going to duplicate it. We're going to call it can of drink. And we're going to duplicate one more time. And we're going to call this one first aid kit. Okay, so it is necessary if you're using a data asset based inventory system to make a data asset for each and every item that you have in the game, as opposed to if you're using a data table, you would have a row for each one of these. There's pros and cons for each way, but this is the way I prefer to do it at the moment. It saves having long lists. We can actually just get things. Also, the good thing about a data asset is we can, if needs be, we can have some code running in there. So we can get it to give us certain things if we wanted to, so we don't have to look for things if it's a very large data asset. So these we do need to fill out. So let's start with a donut. And you see we've got item name. And just to keep it consistent, I'm just going to check what I did for my okay, so item name, use a capital letter, donut. Item message name, a donut. So if we're putting this in a sentence, for example, we have picked up a donut. Yeah? We could complicate it and say if we got more, but normally they're in singulars, so it shouldn't matter. Description, and I'm just going to copy this. So put it here. Sweet and tasty. Sticky donut. Gives you food and energy. Sorry, I'm not those typers. Sweet and sorry, let's just make this a little bit more correct. Sweet, tasty, I'm sure the grammar police will be after me anyway, but however, put in whatever you like. So item type is a pickup. It's something we can pick up in the world. Item group is consumable, something we can eat. Consumable type, we eat it, so it's a food. And you'll see what the uses are these for as we go. Now, icon. So remember in the last episode, I said that I downloaded the food arcade icon pack. Just because they got some wonderful icons in it. So let's choose a nice suitable icon for a nice sticky donut. Let's use this one. And for those who don't know, if you've got a selection of items here, you'll see me doing this quite often. You can look for it, click it, as long as you put it highlighted in blue. You can go back to our data asset here, click this little arrow, it will fill it in. If you've got the wrong type, and I try to do it in there, nothing will happen. It's not the right type. So again, let's look for our static mesh. And again, I've got the food pack, and that mesh is in here. We've got a donut there. I think that's the only one. We'll use that one. We've got a chocolate one or pink one, but we'll use the pink. There. So again, highlight it, click on that. Item class. We made our BP donut. There's our item class. Message text. So this is the message that you have displayed on a screen. So let's say you have picked up a donut. Can we stack them? I think we can. We can carry more than one in a slot. max stack. Well, let's say donuts normally come in boxes of 12, so let's say 12. Item weight, well, we can put it in here. Save us having to go back and do it. Let's say 0.3, nice big 300 gram donut. And the item value, how much food, well, it's a lot of sugar, so let's say it gives 25 out of 100 for when we eat them. Save it, close it, and again we're going to go ahead and we're going to do that for all the other items. Save your time. I'm just going to pause for a moment while I go ahead and make those, and then I'll come straight back to you. Okay, now back again. You can see I have set up all of my data assets and saved them all, and drink is all filled out, and so is my first aid kit. Okay. So the next part is we've got our game items. So let's show you how they work. So if we go back to our game folder, our blueprints, our game items, and let's open each one of these up. So we have can of drink, and we look here somewhere, wherever it has gone. Oh, item data right at the very top, blind. So we look for our data asset. We can choose which one is this. Is our can of drink. We can choose the can of drink data asset. We're going to mark the quantity as 1. The index we will leave as 0, or we can even put it as -1. And then we go to our donuts. Sometimes they will open up in this view, or sometimes they will open up in the other view. So we can go to our variables. Now we don't see the variable that we want. If that happens to you and it's in this view, you just click Show Inherited Variables. Click on your variables, and the one we want is our item data. All we care about. This is the donut. We're going to click on that 1. And you'll automatically see as well, our donut is now got a static mesh because of construction script that we put on our parent last time here. Okay, that's doing that work for you. So we can go back to the donut, make sure you compile it, save it, go ahead and close that, close the can of drink, and we got a very last one to do, first aid kit. Let's do it in the full blueprint editor just to show you that again. Go to our viewport. Let's choose our first aid kit, and immediately you'll see our first aid kit is there. Again, we're going to put 1 for our quantity. Double check I did that for donut. I'm not sure whether I did. Now item data, I did put, okay. Why it opens up different each time, I don't know. Just the way Admiral does it, I suppose. Okay. So we now have our game items. So we can add some to the world, why not? Okay. So let's say let's add a can of drink. Add a can of drink. Now, for those who don't know, if we drag something in the world, you want to duplicate it, hold down the Alt key, the left Alt key, drag out, duplicate it. If you want to duplicate them both, I believe you had the control and select what you want, the Alt key, and you can have another 2, and another 2, and another 2, so on and so forth. Let's have some of those there. Let's put some donuts up here. Again, another little tip. Let's go in here. If we see that, oh, look, my donuts is up in the air. If you press the End key, it will put it down to the bottom. As long as your mesh has the pivot point right at the very bottom, it won't sink into the ground. If you want help in changing that on your meshes, let me know and I'll make a short video on how to do that for you. But again, let's add a few of these through there. Another few there, and over this side, let's add a percent. I often like to just drag it up, click that just to make sure it's nice on the bottom. Let's add a couple of these, shall we? Let's just do, let's do 6 as well. Okay. So here are our game items. And we can see if I play the game, oh, come on. Oh, dear. Doesn't like me recording and playing at the same time. Maybe I need to. Okay. A little bit of a slowdown there. Okay. I do have 2 projects and OBS Studio, so probably that's what's doing it, and other windows I should be a little bit more meaningful of it. You can see here's our items. No, where did I put them? Oh, over there. Here are our items. Oh, I put them over here. No, I put them over here. 4 sides of the arena, and I choose the last one. So here's our 6 first aid kits. We can see nothing happens. We can look at them, do whatever, nothing happens. Because we haven't written any code, we can't pick them up. We can just look at them. Okay. I'm going to call it here for this one. It's going to be a short one for today. Then the next one, we will go into the interaction and hopefully screen message system, which could be quite long. The next one might be a bit longer. Thank you for watching. Again, please don't forget to like, subscribe, recommend to your friends, and if you feel like it, help me with Patreon or buy me a coffee. Have a nice day. Goodbye.